Today's podcast is brought to you by StrongHeartAcademy.com, where no heart is no victory. We are also brought to you by BJJ To Go. If you want to build your game and learn jiu-jitsu, go to bjjtogo.com. Okay, so just talk about the week. It's been kind of a weird week. Yesterday was my birthday. Thanks for all the birthday shout-outs or whatever. This is my new toy that my wife got me, the new octopus. I had a good day yesterday, so it's fun. I rarely have a day that I don't have to do something. Like something has to be done. No matter what, Saturday, Sunday, that I have to be somewhere or do something. So yesterday I just did whatever I wanted to do, and it's so rare. I do have a really open schedule, and I get a lot of freedom in my schedule, but every day I have a set amount of things that have to get accomplished. And as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, your life, everything is always in decay. So everything's breaking down, or problems. People have problems. So yesterday was just a day for me to just not have responsibility. And it was nice to have one day with no responsibility, which sounds crazy because I think most people that's what their weekends are, but mine aren't. So anyway, it was good. I kind of want to talk about today, my Tuesday day. The Phoenix Suns played. I'm a diehard Phoenix Suns fan. And it's like the only sport that I follow. I'm not as crazy as go, we did this and we did that when I talk about the Suns. I'm like, the Suns did that. I'm not a part of the team. I just a fan. I just watch. But I'm also a Laker hater. So Tuesday, they're playing Lakers, and two things are going to happen that night. If they win, they eliminate the Lakers from the playoffs. And the second thing is, if they win, they have the new franchise record for most wins in a season. And so it was kind of a historical night. I really wanted to see the game. And I don't pay for cable. I refuse to pay for cable. The only way to get the Suns game is Fox Sports or ESPN plays most of the games, or TNT. That's all cable. Like, you can't get separate streaming. I'm not going to get separate streaming for these things. Like, these are sports. I don't follow other sports, so I don't care about the Diamondbacks. I don't care about hockey. I don't care about football. Just the Suns. So it's not. There's no value in it for me to buy it. I guess I could get the cable and then take it away, but then we have this box. I tried to figure out a way to get a box in my house. It was going to cost $100 to install it because the wiring wasn't right, because I have an older house. It was like a whole mess. Then I've been thinking about getting VPN, and then get NBA League Pass, which I wouldn't mind doing that. But then I got to get the VPN, then I got to set it up. It was just a hassle because stupid NBA, they block out certain games that ESPN's going to take, or TNT. So you don't even get all the games. It's such a complicated, stupid thing. With the modern way that we have entertainment with streaming, I should just be able to pay per game if I wanted to. It drives me crazy. But anyway, so instead, there's a bar down the street from my house, that's like maybe half a mile, if that, not even that. And I'll go there because it's a restaurant, but it's basically like a bar restaurant. They're trying to be half bar, half restaurant. So they have a huge bar tabletop, really nice. It's granite. It's like really nice. It's probably, like 40 feet long. It's really nice. And they have all these TVs in front of the bar. And I'm not there to hang out with anybody. So I like to just sit at the bar and then look right at the TV. I'm not here. I don't want anything to distract me. I'm a weirdo. Like, even at home when I watch a Suns game, I don't really want to, I'm not talking. I don't want to talk about stuff. Like, I just like the sport. Say if I watch UFCs like that too. Like, if I go to somebody's house to watch UFC, I don't really want to, like, it's people do it as like a party, like, oh, we're talking, discussing. For me, it's not. Like, I just like to watch the fight. I like the action. Like, I want to watch what's happening. Maybe after, in between, I'll talk or something like that. But when action is happening, I'm watching. Don't distract me. I want to watch the TV. So I go there. I sit down at the bar. I'm staring at the TV, and but this is why I need to figure out this thing for next season, because there's this lady. I sit at the end of the bar because the big long bar, and there's one TV down here, and there's people sitting in front of it, and then there's nobody right here, and the bar kind of like curves like this. That's the corner. So I'm sitting at the corner looking up at the TV. There's on the side here, there's two people sitting there. There's this lady and this old dude. And then, so I don't want to sit next to him, so there's a spot between me and the lady. There's a lady here, there's a empty seat, and I sit here. Because I'm like, I don't want to, that's creepy, sit next to him. Plus, they're on the side, and they can't, I would have to stand like this to look at the TV. So I want to look straight into the TV. Again, like, I zone out. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to nothing. So I sit down, and this lady is going through it. I can't help it. Like, she's from here, like 4 feet away, 3 feet away, maybe 3 feet away. And she's like pouring into her drink. She's just like hanging her head, and she's giving her sob story to this old dude next to her. And she's pretty attractive. Like, she's a good looking lady. She's probably, I don't know, late 30s. I don't know how to guess that stuff anymore. But she is pretty attractive. This old dude, I think, is just like, yay, pretty ladies talking to me. Like, I don't know. These are like bar regulars. That's the thing too. I'll go in there. I only go there to watch the games. When the season's over, I'm not going back there. I don't go to bars and just, especially not by myself, I just sit there. I just don't do that. So these guys are like the regular bar people that are there at night or whatever. I've seen them before. I don't talk to them. I'm not like, oh, I'm above you, but I just go there for the Suns game. If I had this deal at home, I would never leave my house to watch. I wouldn't go somewhere to watch the game. It's just more convenient and cheaper. So anyway, she starts talking, and she's like, she's in the process of getting a divorce, and the game lasts like 2 hours. So I'm there for like 2 hours, hour and a half maybe. And she spilled everything. I know it, her whole life story now, because I'm hearing all of it. And I'm like, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved. I felt so bad for this lady. Like, she's got a motorcycle. She's talking about her motorcycle. So this is how it starts. Like, I'm talking about a motorcycle, and I got this motorcycle, but my ex-husband, he built it for me, and it doesn't work. It's not working right because he put a exhaust on it, and it's sputtering or something. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. I have no idea what they're talking about. And the guy next to him, he's like, oh yeah, and he's trying to explain to her what he thinks is wrong with him. Then another dude comes and sits down at that empty seat between me and the lady. I'm like, okay, good. I don't want there's like a buffer zone. And then from there, I'm hearing this, talk. They're talking, and they're like really sympathetic, like, oh, poor you. And then the guy, she was talking about filing her papers for the divorce, and the guy, I don't know if he worked in paralegal or something. He was like, he's like going over like, oh, you have 2 weeks or whatever to get it through and all this stuff. And so I didn't know what their circumstances were about it, but he was just trying to be sympathetic with them. And these just two old guys, and I think they're just happy some pretty ladies talking to him. But she was like so desperate that she would talk to anybody, and I felt so bad for her. Like, she was just alone and lonely and going through it. And she talked about She can't see her kids. She has 5 kids. First of all, 5 kids. This lady's fairly young. She has 5 kids, and um, she threw. I think she said she threw a soda can at her husband's head, and then so he got a restraining order. And because the kids were there and witnessed it, she lost ability to see her kids. So she can't even see her kids. She's living with her parents that live near this bar. So she was from Australia Park, I think, which is pretty far away. And so she's just alone. She has no friends around, no nothing. She can't see her kids. She's divorced. She said it was her second husband. And then she was like talking about some dude she hooked up with that she knew for 6 years or something. I'm like, gross. And I think she's just lonely. And I just felt so bad about like her situation, and I wanted so bad to not have to hear this. I just wanted to watch the Suns game. I was so excited about the Suns game, and you're just hearing all of this, and then it stuck with me, just the loneliness of this lady. And I felt very fortunate that I could see my kids. I live a block away. I'm still with my wife after all these years, and she was just a mess. It's just a mess. And I think, she was like, I'm a photographer and all this stuff. And she was it seemed like she was like trying to convince herself that of her worth and her value. I'm like, man, it's just so sad. And she's all alone, and she lived with her parents, and they had a lot of money. So she was talking about all her cars she had, and now she has just a motorcycle and her one Lexus, but it was one of those like the big one, that's like basically a Land Cruiser but Lexus. I don't know, E whatever, stupid numbers. It was like an $80,000 car, and she's talking to this other guy, and he was talking about all his fancy cars, and then the one guy started like trying to relate to her. He was talking about his divorce. And then he started going into his divorce. He's talking about how he used to have millions of dollars, and I thought it was enough. And then my wife's complaining about this and that, and then we get a divorce, and I'm giving her this, and then she wants another $30,000. And I was like, oh my gosh. And they were like both presenting the case to each other as if they thought they had it all because how wealthy they were. Like, we were so successful. And the other guy had like a lumber company, and then he had I think he said a motorcycle company too, also, which is also weird, but or side-by-side company. They did a lot of different custom stuff. And so I'm just like hearing all this. Then the guy had another friend sit to the other side of me, another old guy, and they must all know each other. And then he tries to introduce me. I'm like, I don't even know you guys. And he's like, this is Mike. What's your name? I'm like, I'm Mike too. And then I just like very cordial and nice, but I'm like, I want to watch the game. I'm here to watch the game. I'm not here to get into your crazy stories, All four of those people were divorced, living by themselves. And all four of them were successful, wealthy people. And they made it sound like they poured all their money into being successful and poured nothing into the relationships. And it was like kind of an epiphany, and I get it because I own my own business too, so I could see the trap. I could totally see the trap, and convincing yourself that I've made it, American dream, I got money. But meanwhile, you're sitting in this bar by yourself, talking to other dudes by yourself, and it was just sad. It's a sad thing. One guy's living at the lake at a motorhome now, and he had like some super wealthy house. He told me where it was at, right off of Happy Valley here on this mountain. These are all these custom homes. I think he sold it for like $2 million. Now he's living in a motorhome by himself down by the. It's like remind me. I'm in a van down by the river. That's what it reminded me of. But he said he was in a motorhome. And I'm sure it's probably an awesome motorhome, but it was just very. Didn't work out. It didn't work out. And that lady was just crying, and trying to pour it all out, and she just has nobody to talk to, and she's just trying to happy, and then she's trying to find something, she's trying to find herself. So she got this motorcycle because she wanted to do something new or whatever. It's like you're chasing happiness with stuff and not people. So anyway, that's it. By the way, the Suns won. It was awesome. Booker donated his jersey to Al McCoy. It was a super cool, goofy fandom thing for me. I was still happy. But, man, when I went home, I was like, man, that was rough. I wish I sat somewhere else. Anyway, that's it. Short one. Bye. Peace.
Let me talk for just a second, help me feel that sense of rhythm. Find the meanings in our bearings and discover this position as a stage along the way. Another rung to the ladder, either stalling or you're climbing, and I'd rather beat the ladder. Instead of getting fatter, let the footsteps resume naturally.